Unspeakable Oath, which is always a fun one. Oh, I haven't cleared out my hands yet. Easy to fix. I have my handy dandy cleanup helper over here. So just wait for it to finish. Click the cleanup helper, and you'll see it'll just suck everything up. Make everything nice and neat. Just gotta wait a little bit. The game gets a little laggy when you're loading. Alright, so we're gonna place down the Unspeakable Oath. Click Build. Let the game go through all of the lag itself. One more time. Alright, so you can see these two here. We just put them together. Take one and chuck it. Whoops. Alright, let's not put it there. There's two different ones that could possibly go there. While I'm remembering, so it turns out I've never actually killed the Unspeakable Horror before. That's the first time. On that card, it says that you go to Resolution 3. So instead of putting the Clasp of Black Onyx into Patrice's deck, I put the Tattered Cloth into Leo's. And I'm not 100% sure that I put the Tattered Cloth in because I realized it after I did the upgrades. So we're going to check real quick in his deck, and if not, we'll just add it. Yeah, it looks like I forgot to, so we'll just go grab that. But we're going to put Hit and Run, Counterpunch, and Get Over here underneath our Stick to the Plan. Whoops. Alright, so these are just some cards that should help Leo. We're going to come over here. I think it's called Tattered Cloak? Yeah, there we go. So for killing the Unspeakable Horror, we get the Tattered Cloak, which gives you -1 sanity, and then you get +1 willpower, combat, and agility if you have 3 or fewer. So we start with 6, so when we play it, we'll go down to 5, and if we've taken 2 horror, we'll be at 3. With all the rest of our soak, we should be fine to hold that at 3. We have our 3 cats here in case we find Miss Doyle, and we're going to remember short supply this time because we forgot last time. Alright, let's head into the book and read about the Unspeakable Oath. We have not... The followers of the sign have not found the way forward, so we skip to Intro 2, then we go to Intro 3. Constance Dumaine was interviewed, so we check out her information. We take the top card of our deck and give a courage icon with 2 sanity. So the easiest way to do that is take the top card like this, and then we just mark it with a sanity token, and we put the number 2 on it. And then same thing over here, and a sanity token with the number 2 on it. Okay. And then it gets discarded when it leaves play. Gather all the cards, make the possessed and the monster piles, which is done. Choose the 2 things, which I did at the beginning. Set these cards aside. Put these locations into play. Add a token to the bag, so we're going to be adding a -3. And then check to see. We did not take the Onyx Clasp, so we're going to use version 2. Shuffle the encounter cards, and set up like this, and then play the game. Okay, so shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Conviction is more than doubt. It's being silly. That's okay. Let me make sure real quick that we weren't supposed to change the conviction, because I think that we got a conviction for taking the clasp. Yeah. And instead for taking the cloak, yeah, we don't get the conviction that way. So, and we switched, I did switch them, but I'll show you guys. Or actually, let's make sure that it switched correctly. It should have switched the rogues to the tablets. Yeah, you see here. Alright, let's pull the negative things down here and see what the tablets do. X is the shroud value of your location. Okay. Shuffle the encounter deck. That's all done. This is here. This is there. Alright, and then this is the new chaos token we need to add, which we checked was the 3. We just drop it into the bag. And then over here we can just click update and you'll see a second one show up. Ah, interesting. That's weird. It should be over here, right? That's so weird. I don't know. We'll deal with it later. We know at least when it comes out it'll be a -3, right? It must be a weird bug in the code. Let's try putting it over here and see if that changes anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's showing us a 0, but it's clearly an image of a -3, so we know what to do. So we're good to go. Nothing up here matters. Nothing up here matters. We have to pick one of the asylum halls to start in, and we'll just start together over here. After you defeat a lunatic here, you draw a card. Cool. Yep, and then we can just draw 5 because I haven't stepped off of white yet. Alright, so we're definitely going to keep Chauffeur's Catalog and Astral Mirror. The rest we're going to get rid of. We're looking for either a flashlight or a keyring. Well, we didn't get it. Unfortunately, we have our Delve and our Opener, which is never good. But we do have this stuff to set up with, so it could be worse. Over here for Leo. Okay, you see I did add the weakness this time. Alright, well we have none of our allies and no weapons, so that's a real easy mulligan of 5. Well, okay. Now we have our allies. Welcome to the party, sled dogs. Okay then. Wow. So I guess we will have oof. Guess we'll have Patrice go first, and we'll just play our Delve too deep. See what happens. Okay, well that's actually great to have pulled immediately. So it puts into your threat area, takes up your body and both hand slots, and then you have to click twice to get rid of it. So, and then limit each investigator takes horror. You take extra horror. And we must attach it to either the agenda or the act, and since we are fairly confident the agenda is going to advance quickly, we'll put it on the agenda. But that puts Delve too deep into the display, so that's good for us. Action 2 and 3 are going to be to play Astral Mirror and Chauffeur's Catalog. Then we'll end our turn. Leo will go. He'll use his reaction to play a sled dog. We'll use 2 actions to get rid of the straitjacket, and then play our Enchanted Blade. So from there we'll go to Upkeep. Nice. Upkeep over here, but we have to discard first. We don't want to forget. I've done that a few times. Group them in, drop them into the discard. Good. There's our violin. That's great. We have our upgraded scavenging. Everything's coming up Millhouse. This lets you play items, right? Yeah, perfect. And we can wish for more wishes. Everything's good. Doom on the agenda and encounter card. If there are no lunatic enemies, gain surge. Okay. When your turn ends, if you did not draw a card, you take a damage and a horror, and then because of this, it'll be an additional horror, and it's direct. So then this one, huzzah. That should be fine for Patrice. She should not have to do too much attacking, so no big deal. We just use this to get other stuff. Alright, so we'll have Patrice go first. We'll use our Astral Mirror action to play a hand item. So we'll play our violin, and that costs 2 resources from Chauffeur's Catalog. Then we'll spend our action to play scavenging. Then we will move. Okay. We'll investigate. So we are even, 2 to 2. We'll commit Chauffeur's Catalog and Resourceful to get to +2. And I guess we will use this to gain a resource. We succeed, but we only succeeded by 1, so we don't get the bonus, but we do get a clue. But that's okay. And then Leo gets to go. Leo's gonna use his oh, I didn't get extra money, so I can't. Alright, oh, I made choices. Because I played the blade, I didn't have a choice. Okay, that's fine. Leo will follow in case we draw a monster. Leo will draw a card to prevent this from triggering. And then I'll gain a resource. That's 3. So from there we'll go to Upkeep. We don't discard this. So that's going to hamper Patrice. Maybe we do have to do it. I don't care so much about the fighting monsters, but I do care much more about hand size. 2 Doom on the agenda will advance us, so in so doing, we'll get rid of this. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and the lunatics into the encounter deck. So we want the lunatics and the discard pile. Okay. Then we must take a monster and put it beneath the act deck. So we shuffle and put that over there. And there we go. Alright, encounter cards. Alright, well, now I think it's more likely that the agenda will advance, or the act will advance, so we'll put it over there. No lunatics in play, so Surge. Test willpower, where it's the shroud value, so the shroud value here is 2. Okay, so we're +2 on this test. We can't use any of the cards in our hand, but we can discard this to draw a card in the window. We'll go +3. We still fail by 1, so we'll take 1 horror, and then that'll be 2 horror because this is in play. And we'll put that onto our extra asset here. So what card was it? Oh, it was a Grizzled. Alright. We'll have Leo go. This time he will be able to use his reaction. And, oh, I put the sled dog on top of this, but I shouldn't have. Let's think. I don't have these, so that's fine for now. So we have a second sled dog into play. That's not an action. We're going to then gain 2 resources to set up to play Mitch or something. Let's put this here, because it'll make more sense as we play. I can just put these like this, right? Good. Alright, we gain 2 resources. I don't want to play Intel Report. It doesn't make too much sense. Let's draw a card to prevent this from going off. Okay, well that's good. We should have did the trick, but alright. Here we go. We are going to do Patrice's turn. So we'll use our extra action. No, well, we have so many different ways to do this. Yeah, we're going to use our extra action to play Old Keyring, but instead of taking it from here, we'll take it from the catalog. We're then going to investigate using Old Keyring, making the shroud 0. So we are 2 to 0. We're going to commit Resourceful to be 3 to 0, trying to get a trigger. Okay, well, we still succeed, but we just don't get a scavenging trigger. But we'll get 2 clues because we made the shroud at the location 0. And then we get any card from our discard pile back to our hand that isn't named Resourceful. And I will take... it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to play any of these. I'll take the Grizzled, I guess. Action 2 will be to play down Madame Lebranche. We have no resources, so we'll gain a resource. Then I guess we'll just investigate, and we'll go plus infinity, and we succeed, because we used our clue. We would get both, but we can't. Alright, and that's all 3 for Patrice. So then we go upkeep. Over here we do upkeep, Doom on the agenda, and encounter cards. It's a monster. Take a horror or +3 fight. We'll take the horror, and we'll put it onto our easy mark, or our asset. It's 2 because of the extra card up top. Okay, must either... Well, we can't... Oh, no, never mind. We're going to do this. And then we take a horror, but it becomes 2 horror because of the card up top. We're going to block that because we don't want Surge. Alright, so Leo will go. Leo will use his reaction to drop down a sled dog. We'll do a sled dog fight. Whoops. Sled dogs win. And we'll gain 2 resources. We would have did that. All right. So we're gonna play. We're gonna gain a resource. This is fast, right? Yep. We're gonna gain a resource. Then we're gonna play hit and run off of our stick to the plan to put Leo DeLuca into play. Leo DeLuca gives us an extra action. With that extra action, we're going to play Calling in Favors, which is we look at the top 9 cards and we return Leo to our hand, and we can play any ally that costs less than Leo. So we're going to put this Beat Cop into play, and Leo comes back to our hand. Oh, I put him on top of it. I did that wrong. Okay. So we just take a Leo and put him into our hand and then shuffle. But that's how this works. So basically, for 2, you could play any ally. It's much better when I have the agency backup later. Right now, we just put a Beat Cop in. Ideally, you turn a Sled Dog into like Leo or something, but and then this is in play, so we get an additional combat. And that's his turn. So now it's Patrice. Patrice will move over. Okay, we are going to whoops. Use the violin to gain a resource. Oh, and then we didn't do a draw action this turn. We gain money, so we take a direct damage and a direct horror, and then we have to take an extra horror because of the act card. Alright, back over here. We did this, and I think I gained the resource already. So now we're going to investigate. We're going to make it a Shroud 0, and then we're going to use Last Chance to get to 6 to 0. We succeed by 2 or more, so we can use our scavenging. So we are going to play out of our discard pile any item. Well, we only have 2 choices, Chauffeur's Catalog and Idol of Xanatos. And I'm going to choose Chauffeur's Catalog, and I'm going to pay for it with the other Chauffeur's Catalog. You can see here, this is a great engine. Oh, actually, that was the last... never mind. That was the last charge of the old keyring. So the old keyring was going to die, and then because of the way that it happens, we're allowed to choose the order. So I'm going to choose, instead of the Chauffeur's Catalog, to choose the old keyring, and then I had 2 resources on it, so I'm just going to take 1 off this one to play the old keyring. This is the upgraded scavenging, so we can play it as part of returning it, which is really, really awesome. But we get 2 clues, which is great. And then we have 6 clues, which is how many we need to advance. So we're just going to do that right away, which is then going to get rid of this, so we don't have to take so much damage. The investigators must decide how to check. We're going to do a combat check for Leo, or Leo's going to make the combat check. It's a base of 4, so it's 5 to 4 is plus 1. We'll go plus 2, and then we'll test. The shroud value of your location, which is 2, so it's a pass. So we get the keys to the basement. We get to advance to Act 2A. Yay! And then we need to see which... Oh, it's... Wait, what? Why does it have this? Let's go... I might have made a boo-boo. Oh, maybe because of the return to. That's right, never mind. I didn't look at that at all. So gather these sets, set these aside, and then in Act 2, then you check for conviction or doubt, and we use version 3 because we had conviction. Okay, never mind. So ignore the text, so now we can enter the basement, and we must find Daniel Chesterfield. We have 1 more action as Patrice, so we're going to try to attempt this test. So it's a willpower test of 2. We're going to commit this to be plus 3. And the shroud here is 2, so we succeed. So in order to notate that we've done this, we're just going to flip it upside down. That's all 3 of Patrice's actions, so she's going to end her turn. Leo already went, so we're in upkeep. Okay, and upkeep. Doom on the agenda, and encounter card. So it's 2, so we're plus 2, and that's what we're going to be. And it's a pass because that's minus the shroud, so that's fine. Oh no. This one is at least a play action. Well, we'll see. Luckily now we've gotten rid of that, so it's not going to be multiplied. Alright, so we'll have Patrice go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, she's not playing anything. Unfortunately, nothing in there is going to help, so she will just gain a resource along the way. We'll discard that. And then discard this to end a turn. Oh, actually, that's not true, but what is this? 1 direct damage and 1 direct horror. I might be able to commit to, that was gone, to a Leo test, right? Because he's gonna use his sled dogs. Oh wait, did I flip this over? I did. And after you end your turn here, take a horror and gain 2 resources. Well, I don't have a choice on that. Okay. So Leo will move with sled dogs into the basement, actually. We can spend all 3, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we can just discard these cards. Leo's not going to stop there. I don't want to take extra horror in this mission unless I have to. After it is revealed, put the 4 confinement locations into play. So they're going to be in here. There we go. So we just put them here, shuffle, 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 so that way we don't know which one is which. There we go. And so Leo used 1 action. Oh yeah. We would have used our reaction at the beginning to play Mitch. So Mitch gives us 2 extra ally slots to hold non-unique allies, which is basically going to be our sled dogs. The way timing works on this is that it checks after you play the guy and it comes into play. So even if we had played Leo here, I think actually that would have put us at 3 out. Yeah, we would have been 1 over. But Mitch is going to cover 2 slots, right? So you could think of it as he covers the beat cop and the 2 dogs, or and then the other 2 dog slots will go over here. We still have 1 more charisma, 1 more ally which we can play, which is going to be Leo at some point. But we want to save our money. Actually, no, we have to play. We have to play Mitch first in order to cover us because we don't have the spaces. That's right. He gives us the extra slots. All right. So we have 2 actions remaining. Investigating this location doesn't seem great, but we will first gain a resource and then just play intel report and yoink 2 of it and yoink the clues. A shroud 4 is always good to do that on. So that's all of the turn for Leo. And we did everything for Patrice. So that gets thrown away. We do upkeep over here. That goes into play. We do upkeep over here. We'll discard Leo from hand. Doom on the agenda, and encounter card. Straitjacket. I believe it puts it into my hand, right? Yeah, so the blade goes back to hand, and the straitjacket takes back the slots. Oh boy. Oh, okay, it went away. Finding Daniel's most likely to happen. Oh, so when that happened, we didn't take the extra one because we had removed it. That's good. Alright. Well, we can deny existence at once, so we probably just do that because we're not going to have this later. Yeah, so let's investigate the location. We'll use the old keyring to make it a 0. We'll go 4 to 0. We'll fail, so we keep the charge. But we'll just investigate again. 2 to 0. We'll go... oh, we can't make it even less, so 2 to 0. We passed by 2, conveniently, so now we can get the other chauffeur's catalog. Although, I think I actually want to get the flashlight, right? Yeah, let's get the flashlight. That'll come in, and that costs me another resource. That's fine. And then we get both clues because we made the shroud 0. And then with the final action, whoops, we'll move down. Alright. Leo does not necessarily need to fight with his hands anymore. He's got Beat Cop plus Sled Dogs plus some actions here, so I think we're going to leave the straitjacket on. Let's, oh, and then we would have denied existence on the internal injury. So let's go exploring. So we'll move into this location. Okay, well, there you go. Huzzah, instantly found it. Spawn the host of insanity at this place. Okay. There we go. And then shuffle the encounter pile and each enemy beneath the act deck. So this person and this. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. This goes in as well. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Okay. Well then, I'm here, so it'll engage us. Oh, it's massive, so it just stays here. All right. If you control the clasp, of course, we did the other one. We could parlay to evade it, but that's fine. We're just gonna fight it instead. So we'll use our sled dogs, and we get in for 3 damage. Oh, whoops! It's not what it's supposed to grab. I was trying to grab that. Okay, so we moved, then we did sled dogs. Then we'll fight. We'll commit vicious blow and enchanted blade. We succeed, so we'll deal 2 damage because it's just a punch. So that's 5. And we get to look at the top 3 cards looking for an ally. None of those are allies, so we'll put them back. Alright, now we go to upkeep. Oh, sorry, monster phase. He hits. Hits for 1 and 1. So we'll just have a dog hop in front of that. Alright, we'll do upkeep over here. And upkeep over here, readying Leo. Doom on the agenda, and encounter card. Okay. Do a draw. We do have a hidden card, so we'll take a horror. Or is it just take a horror? Yeah, we're going to let Madame LaBranche go. Test willpower. Shroud value of your location. If you fail, let's see. The shroud value of her location is 4, so we're testing even. We just don't want to do that, so we'll just do this. We're not super excited about putting even more horror on us, but that's what we got to do here. Alright, we'll go over here. We'll do our attack. We are plus the bag. Shroud value is 2, so we're good, and that's 8, so that's a kill. I'm just going to drop it in here so it loses the thing, and then move it. Alright, well, we don't need to get this clue for anything. Oh, we have to spend a clue to move into here. Alright, so let's do that so we don't cheat. So then maybe we do need to get this clue. Can we get this clue? Oh, I could have counterpunched last turn. Oh, silly me. Alright. Yeah, let's investigate. So we fought. Let's investigate. We succeed. Huzzah. And then we'll move. Actually, we're going to use the dogs to move next turn. What is this? Let's draw a card. We'll prevent this a turn. Ooh, we got another dog. Even better. Alright, let's get this off. We don't want to take too much of this. Let's throw out a premonition so we know what the next roll is going to be. Okay. So then we'll use this to move, and we'll go in here, which we need to spend a clue to do. This is going to be a combat test. Alright, unfortunately... Oh, we have an action. No, we don't have another action. So, yeah, we're done. Okay. Upkeep over here. There's the monster. Upkeep over here. Doom on the agenda, and encounter cards. Okay, the shroud value here is 2, so we're +2. We can't block it, and so we're going to test. Oh, and it's the -1 that we knew was there from the premonition, so we succeed. Okay, and then test over here. We could forget something or take 1 horror and give it surge. Yeah, I think we're going to forget that we did this because that's kind of scary right now. We don't want to take more stuff, and we don't want to surge. Alright, so we're going to use our react as Leo. 1, 2, drop in sled dogs. Then we're going to use the sled dogs to move 2 spaces. We're going to move into here. And then we're going to do this test. So we're +3, we'll go +4. We succeed, so we have now released a dangerous patient. And then we'll move again, and we'll go up here. We have to spend a clue to go in there. Okay, this is going to be an intellect test. Alright. So now it's Patrice's turn. Patrice is going to play Premonition. It's going to be a -3. That's pretty rough. Alright, well let's do an investigate first then. And we'll reduce the test by 2 to a 0 with the flashlight. And then we'll just get the clue. And then what do we do now? Do we try to evade? I mean, if we evade, we can only reduce it by 2. We won't succeed. We'll use our extra action here from our astral mirror to play flashlight. And I guess we'll just move up to here and prepare. Actually, Leo's more likely to pass that. Let's go into here. Yeah. Alright, and we have to spend a clue when we move in here. This didn't have to spend clues, did we? No. Okay. Alright. So then that's all of our actions. So we discard this and go to upkeep. We're looking for gumption, really. Okay, that'll work if we hit the right card. We have our delve in hand. Let's go upkeep. That's fine. Doom on the agenda and encounter card. We do have a hidden hand, so we take a horror. We'll put that on the beat cop. And then this has surge. Nearest asylum halls is here. And when you attack it, you must take horror. Okay. Okay, well now there's 2 of them up there. That's a little bit scarier. Let's have Patrice go first. She'll make this test. We are even. Oof. Maybe not. Alright, let's instead start by playing Miss Doyle. Let's see which cat we get. We're hoping for Evade Cat. Hey, we got Evade Cat. That's awesome. Alright. Oh, I haven't been using my violin either. Oh boy. Alright, let's violin this to draw a card. Okay. Let's use Evade Cat to evade the Watcher. We don't have one in our discard pile because we just shuffled them in. And then with our third action, we'll play our Delve Too Deep. So, card over here. Card over here. Okay, our Shroud is 2, so... Okay, we pass. This one is draw, this one is gain money. Okay. Well, Leo's going to make this test. He's a base of +1. We'll go +2. That's a success. Whoops. So now we've done 2 things. What's up here? If we've done 4, we must advance. Okay. This is going to be harder. How much? I have much less on me. So let's use our dogs. And we don't have to use 2 here to move down here. And then we'll try this test at +2. We'll go +4. And we'll succeed. Alright. And then let's do get over here. 1, 2. Choose any non-elite enemy from 2 locations away. We're going to choose this one and bring it to you. Then fight it. When we fight it, we must take a horror. We succeed, so we deal 1 damage, and then we'll use our beat cop to do another. Alright, that's our turn. So this gets discarded. We go to upkeep over here and upkeep over here. And then Doom on the agenda will advance us. The lead investigator must choose an enemy and shuffle it into the encounter deck. Okay, so we just take one of these and shuffle it in. Constance is killed, so we don't have to put her in the garden. Okay. 8, flee while you still can. Okay, so we have to do one more thing because we forgot about the kitchen fire we set. Encounter card. Okay, Shroud value is 2. We have no events, so we can't. So it gains surge, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, hold on. Both of these go off. Damage and a horror. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Because we didn't gain resources and we didn't draw a card. What is this? Move? Okay, well. We are at the point of dying, so we definitely have to be moving a lot. Encounter card. Okay, take 1 damage and deal 1 damage to it. That's fine. Okay, that's not really going to help anymore. We can't fight anyway because of things. Okay. So let's do evade. It is a human lunatic, but we'll reduce the difficulty to 0 using our flashlight. And we succeed. So we'll just leave it here. We will move out as action 2. And then let's play our Idol of Xanatos so we can start preventing some of this damage in case that happens. And we'll play Augur as a fast. Oh, we don't have a resource for that. Okay, never mind. Oh, we'll use our Violin to get a resource, and then we'll play Augur. I need to use it more often. I keep forgetting. And then this will get discarded at the end. And then we'll come over here to Leo. So we do have one guy left. So I think what we're going to do here is use our dogs to move. So we only have to move 2. We'll go up here, grab our friend, and then we'll use the other 2 dogs. Whoops, I'm doing everything wrong. To fight. That's a success, but we do take a horror, but we can soak that, so we will. And I should have soaked the previous one. In fact, oh no, I don't remember if I did. We're going to say I didn't in case I made a mistake. So move, fight. We don't want to stay here, so we'll move out. And that's our 3rd action. Give me a moment, I need to run to the restroom. Okay, sorry about that. I had to run to the restroom quick. Drinking too much water. Alright, so I think we did everything. Patricia's marker isn't down, but I remember her turn. She evaded, and then she moved, and then did something. I'll just play the idol. That was her 3. And then we moved with the dogs. We fought with the dogs, and then we moved over for Leo. We made our move action, so that's fine. So then we do upkeep over here. We have to take a horror for that. We'll put that onto Mrs. Doyle. This actually had to take a damage. We're going to put that on Miss Doyle as well, right? That's when he hit it. It's not direct. Since there is direct stuff, we want to make sure we're as covered as we can. And then upkeep over here. Easy mark is fine. Doom on the agenda. 1 of 8. I'm pretty sure we shuffled this before. Or did this tell us not to shuffle? And shuffle it into the encounter deck. Yeah, nothing told us to shuffle the other cards. Okay. So then Leo would be readied and encounter card. We are at an Asylum Hall, so it'll spawn here. Okay, there is a Lunatic Enemy in play. Okay, well we definitely don't want that to happen. So we are +1. We will go +2. That's the most that we can do. Alright, we succeed. Great. We will just have the dogs fight. We have to take a horror as part of fighting it. And the dogs will succeed. I think we'll take a moment here to prepare. So let's gain 2 resources and draw a card. Alright. Oh, I tapped all the dogs, didn't I? Alright, I did it. So we'll move up. While you're investigating, it gets Shroud for the horror on you, which is 1 billion. And then we can just use a click, but we have to get the clue off. Alright. Okay. Well, that was all 3 for Leo, and we made our move, so we don't have to worry about this. So now it's Patricia's turn. She'll go 1-2 into the infirmary. Oh, we can heal stuff. Oh, you can trade damage for horror, but that's not good. Okay. So move, and then we'll investigate, making the location 0. We have to do both. So 1 from the flashlight and 1 from the old keyring. It can't go to -1, so it's 2 to 0. But we'll commit Zeal to be +3, and let's go fishing for a better card. Nope, didn't find it. We're +3. We succeed, and we can use our scavenging, so we will... Let's go see what we can find. Oh, there's nothing in here because we just shuffled through our deck. Convenient. Or rather, inconvenient. Why did I think... We did 1, we did 2, we did 3. Do we just need to do 4? Okay. Well then, maybe I didn't have to come here. Maybe I made a mistake. But I did what I did, so here we are. So then we go to this. We go upkeep. Bunch of neat cards. Upkeep over here. Doom on the agenda, and encounter card. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, it's 3. Let's use Premonition so that we know what we have to beat. Oh, so we just beat it. Great. So we'll just test, so we succeed. Let's use our window to play another Premonition so we know. So it's just going to be a -2. Let's have Patrice go. She'll just move 1, 2, 3 to get to this location. And then she'll use her violin to discard the razor so that Leo can gain a resource. Leo will go. He'll use his reaction. His reaction to play Leo DeLuca. Mitch gives me these slots, my base slot, and the 2 charismas. Yep, I'm good. Okay, so now we get all 4 of our actions. We're going to try to investigate the location. We are 3 to 1, but it does get +1 for each horror on us, so that's 5. So instead of 3 to 1, it's actually 6 to 3 against. We know it's going to be a -2, but we're going to commit last chance and get +4. So now we're +4, and so we know we're good because we pulled this -2. So we succeed. But we only get 1 clue, unfortunately. So in order to protect us, we're just going to move down. Oh, we could have drawn a card from here, and then we're going to move back. And then we get 1 action remaining, and we will gain a resource. Okay, and that's keeping us from dying to the direct horror from this. We'll go to upkeep, and upkeep. That also would have been good. Tomb on the agenda, and encounter card. Okay, it makes the difficult. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna take 1 horror, or it gets +3 fight. We will let it get +3 fight. And that's fine, because I think we're going to evade it. Alright, so let's have Leo go first. We'll sled dog fight. We succeed, dealing 4 damage. We'll spend 2 to play intel report to yoink the clue without having to test. We'll use the click to flip the yard, and that will advance us, which will get rid of this. Okay, shuffle everything underneath the act and the discard pile into the act deck, or into the encounter deck rather. That's fine. If at least 3 monsters were shuffled, they were not, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're done. If there is no ready enemy in the garden, resign. Objective, if we resign, we can advance. Okay, so that's, we have 1 action. We will move up into the garden, and we will resign. So Leo's gone, so now it's Patrice's turn. We're going to use, do we have an impromptu barrier in the discard pile? Yes. We're going to play impromptu barrier and then flashlight to make it a 0 because it's a 3. So this is -1 and then -2 more. So it's a 0 test. So we succeed. So this gets evaded, and then we'll move up and resign as well, so we get out. Alright, so everyone has resigned, so we advance. We did not take the keys by force, so we do resolution 3. Oh wait, I definitely played the second Delve for too deep. I put it into my discard pile as on accident, but I 100% remember playing it. That should be in the victory display. It's how we got that Whispering card into the hand for Leo. That almost killed him. All right, resolution 3. 1, 2, 3. Nobody was defeated. We escaped the asylum. We get XP equal to the display, and we switch the tablets into elder things. Proceed to the interludes. Let's not forget what we have to do. So these come out, and these go in. Okay. We escaped the asylum, and then we'll go check the interlude. All right. A bunch of neat stuff about Daniel. Daniel did not survive because we never saw the Daniel asset, so we can either ignore the warning or heed the warning. I'm a heed the warning kind of person, so we're just gonna heed the warning. Alright, so we heeded Daniel's warning, Mark 2 conviction, we gain a bonus XP, and we can't say this name without taking horror. Okay, so let's just mark that off. We get 2 more conviction. Okay. And then we do the Phantom of Truth, and that'll be a tomorrow problem. We're going to get 6 XP from the display. It's possible that we could have got more. I think that there's some in the monsters, but we just didn't seem to pull any of them. Alright, well that one doesn't have it. We didn't pull any of the monsters that had XP. Yeah, see? We got this one. Some of these guys are really nasty. Yeah, this is the only one that has XP, but you have to get it. You have to randomly put it underneath and then put it in. If you fail more skull tests, that's how you get those, but that's only -1, so you kind of have to risk yourself to get them. Dunwich is awesome. I've played Dunwich a few times. Yeah, just trying to go through what's happening. This is a full on playthrough in that I have access to all the cards. But if you want to go back, you can watch my Dunwich videos and my other videos I started at the beginning. I began with the core set, and I played all the way through, and then I've been posting all the videos on YouTube. I don't know how long Twitch rather keeps my VODs active, but they should all be there for you. But there's the the YouTube video, and it has everything there. But thanks for appreciating the narration. Trying to keep everybody informed about what's happening and seeing what's neat and interesting. So yeah, we got 6 more XP today because we had our Delve Too Deep's fire off. And that card's really good at adding XP for everybody. Plus we have Sharon Zobel over here on Leo, so he's getting super juiced up. I think he's already like near 35 XP, and we're only at mission 4. He might even be at 40. I have to go. Let's go take a look and see how far along he is. So he's gonna get 8 more. Right now he's at 31. Yeah, so he'll be at 39. So he's pretty strong. Yeah, he's 8 XP ahead. But yeah, so I'll be back on tomorrow night. I'll be doing the next mission, which is a Phantom of Truth. I usually start around midnight Eastern, which is about an hour ago from now, and I'll play through the mission. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for joining in and chatting. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. And I'll be back tomorrow night. So I'll wait a few minutes just to see if there's anything that you wanted to chat about or ask about. Noah's okay too, by the way. Zero pressure. Just come to hang out and observe, see some of the cool stuff. So this is Patrice. She's one of my favorite investigators. She draws up to a full hand, but her hand is only 5, and she discards her cards. So you can't like sandbag cards. You kind of want to use everything. So she's super cool like that. Her signature card is the violin. You can discard a card to either draw a card or gain a resource, so it's a great way to keep your assets moving. And then she really loves to use scavenging because she can basically play cards from the discard pile, so it saves her actions. Plus, she has her Astral Mirror, which lets her play cards from the discard pile. Or I'm sorry, play extra hand slots from her hand items. So it's just really good. If you have scavenging 0, it really helps getting these items down. If you have 2 scavengings down, sometimes you don't always have the resources to play stuff, but you can find it in other ways. But yeah, things are good. We have the cats from Mist Oil, so we used the evade cat earlier. We found the investigate cat afterwards, so we never got a chance to use it. Um, Leo's all about the charisma, so you can see here we have 2 charismas, so he has 2 extra ally slots, which normally means only 3. Yeah, I've only been playing for a little over a year. I started, I want to say, either October or November of last year. Well, not last year, the year before. So now I've been playing for a year and a half or so. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a whole lot more. I mean, Core and Dunwich is a solid base. There's a lot of the level 0 investigator cards that you're going to play with are in Core and Dunwich. Carcosa is another one that's really good for the level 0 cards that you get. I really find that the upgraded cards, the level cards, are much better later on, and like you kind of can build your deck around them. So like you don't even know what sled dogs are. They're from Edge of the Earth, but they're basically they normally you only can have one ally in a slot. Sled dogs take up half a slot, so you can play 2. And then the more of them you have, the better they get. You can play 4 copies in your deck. So in Leo Anderson, you get to get an extra action every turn. He's from the Forgotten Age to play allies, and it reduces the cost by 1. So it's like really easy to play a whole lot of sled dogs out. They don't take up ally slots, and then or as many. And then your signature ally actually says you get 2 extra ally slots, and they can only hold non-unique ones. Yeah, that's what I did. If you look at the stream, I did all of them in release order. So I started with the core base game, and I did Leo and Daisy, which is obviously like the most common pairing, right? Oh, interesting. It says that my camera's not on. Huh. This is the first time that my camera. I'll have to figure out why my camera isn't working. Anyway, um, yeah, I normally have my camera on, but I just see now that it's not. I'll figure it out later. But anyway, I was just gesticulating because I'm Italian, so I was like talking with my hands. Hey, Huffy, you're a little late. I finished tonight. But anyway, I started my streaming with a core set, Daisy and Roland. There's a whole set on that. If you go into the YouTube, the first set is there. Yeah, right. Usually it is Huffy. But yeah, so the first collection or playlist is the core Daisy and Roland. Then we did Dumb, which I played with a friend for a while, and we did Jenny Barnes and Ashcan Pete, and we finished it, but it was definitely riskier without having a Guardian or a Seeker. Then we did Carcosa, we did Mark, and I think it was Harvey, and then we did Forgotten Age with Ursula, and I forget who they played offhand. I think it was a Mystic, but it went very poorly. We ended up finishing it again, but we had our first investigator deaths. And then we had the Circle and Dome was pretty straightforward. I think we still had more investigator deaths because we kept playing Obol and people were dying with Obol in bad spots. But I played through in release order, and then I went back and started with the Return to cycles. So I played Return to Night of the Zealot, Return to Dunwich, and now I'm doing Carcosa. Um, we still have Return to Forgotten Age and Return to Circle Undone to do. After that, I'm kind of open. I think I'm gonna either make a poll in the Facebook group. I don't know if you're familiar with the Facebook group for Arkham players, but that's where I post most of the content, and I chat with a lot of people. So just give me a moment as I pull up that group. I'll put a link to it in chat as well. So this is a Facebook group that a lot of Arkham players are. It's international, so we have people in Europe, people in Australia, people all over the world. I'm in the eastern coast of the United States. Um, But yeah, it's super interesting and fun. And Yeah, I might put up a poll in there and let people pick investigators and or pick the content because I've played pretty much all. At that point, I'll have played all of the campaigns. I wouldn't have done any of the fan made campaigns, and I wouldn't have done any of the standalones. I find the standalones are best in like multi-group settings. So like one person playing the standalone as like two investigators feels kind of weird. I'll do it if people want to see it. So I don't know. I'm pretty open. I might just start doing like challenges. So like maybe an Iron Man challenge, which is to not swap out at the end of the campaign, starting at Night of the Zealot and seeing how long we can go. So far, I mean, I have one investigator who hasn't died, and they have like 350 experience. I have observed in the deck, and that lets you heal trauma if you complete missions. So that's like you have to draw the card and find it. I've done a couple of the fan made things privately. I meant I wouldn't have done them on stream. So uh, I forget which one that we did one of them recently. Oh, there's a Baldur's Gate one though. I might have to look at that. That's interesting. Not that. Where's the? This is the featured one. There's usually a book over here with the. Huh. I wonder where they put the fan made content. It used to be on the side over here. I'll look for it later. Um, so what I would say is that two-player for me has been the sweet spot. I found I've played most of my games at two-player. My understanding is that at four-player it's really, really easy. Um, in that like you have so much more action economy amongst four investigators that even though you multiply the things by four, the difficulty doesn't multiply by four, right? And especially like monsters, monster health doesn't change. So now it's just about like getting into position and killing them. Some of the bosses do multiply, but again, you get more people with the opportunity to hit them, and so like even when you multiply clues by four, right? Like so many investigators are really good at scooping up a bunch of clues at once. Um, and so I don't know. I just feel like you're also less likely to hit the gap. So like for if you hit a spot where like you don't have a weapon as a fighter or a way to fight, and you don't have your combat cards from your investigator, um, well you draw more monsters. That's certainly true. But like, let's say we all stack together, right? If you draw four monsters, if we even draw four monsters, our fighter can just attack four times. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, you don't get well. You kind of can get more Doom. Like you're more likely to see Ancient Evils and stuff like that. But you can also offset that by having cards that interact with Doom, right? You could have Ward of Protection. You could have a lot of the specific cards that block the resolution of things. So it all comes down to what works the most for you. But for me, I just feel like in general, you're a lot easy. It's a lot easier to deal with the threats when you have four people trying to solve it, because the odds that all four decks are gonna fumble and not do what they're supposed to do or draw poorly is low. And as long as one or two of them are doing well, the other ones have the time to set up. Whereas in like true solo, if you fumble your deck setup, you're just gonna have a really bad game. It's gonna be very difficult to get ahead. And even in two player, if the fighter fumbles and you draw a bunch of monsters, or if the clue getter fumbles and like loses a key component from like an encounter card or something like that, it can be very difficult to keep up with the clues that you need to get or in the time frame that you need. Um, so I don't know. As a general rule, I think two player has been very challenging. I think I'm a good player. I'm not the best. I'm sure there's better players than me. I try to make strong decks and I try to complete as much as I can. I usually get resolution one or like a positive resolution from most campaigns. I've only failed a couple, and usually it's because something catastrophically wrong happened. Like We were playing Return to Dunwich a while ago, and my fighter was Lily Chen, and they had a Cyclopean hammer or a dragon pole. I forget which one was in play, but in either case, right? This was the item that they had, and one of the monsters there just eats melee weapons, right? And like we just didn't know that that was a thing. So like if you don't have a ranged weapon or a spell to kill it, it just eats your weapon, and it has like 4 health or something like that, or 6 health, something obnoxious. So in order to kill it, you can't use your pole, right? So you either have to punch it 6 times, or you have to use your beat cops or whatever, or you can just be a mystic. And Dunwich is very favorable for being a mystic because there's a whole lot of willpower checks. You also need willpower to use the powder of Benghazi and the esoteric formula to handle all of the slime guys. So um, true solo. I mean, again, you have to have a good mix of both things, right? I've played true solo Patrice. She's able to do it. She has some really good things, and I've done true solo expert Patrice, which is really hard. But like making all the test zeros is the short answer to why it works. Between gumption and the flashlights and the old key rings and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, some things get a little easier, but like the monster healths all seem a lot more scary because you know you have to do it all by yourself, and it's just a different kind of game. And getting victory from monsters is way less likely, right? Like imagine having to hit for what was it? Even just 4 hit points on this guy or 6 hit points on this guy is so scary for someone who struggles to deal 1 point of damage, right? So even if you play Spectral Sickle like I am in this deck, right? So this is or Spectral Racer. I keep calling it Spectral Sickle because of a different game. This is one of my favorite cards. It's from Dream Eaters. So you add your willpower to your combat, and then you engage an enemy. So it goes around aloof, and then it does an additional damage or 2 extra damage if they're not elite. Um, yeah, Racers is great. So I think standard is great. What I have found is there's another like a player made setting called stand hard, right? So like they basically put an H in between the D and the A in standard. And so what that is you choose one of 2 things. You either choose to play with a standard encounter bag, like the chaos bag, or you choose a standard tokens board. Whichever one you pick standard, the other side you do expert. So if you pick a standard resolution here, you set up your bag like it's expert, and vice versa. If you do a standard set of tokens, you do expert penalties. Um, it's a medium difficulty, or it's a difficulty between standard and hard. Personally, I find standard can be very challenging. If you're going to play your best decks all the time and you're gonna, only play without taboo, especially, then yeah, you can up it to hard. I play on standard. I have lost multiple times on standard, on stream even. um, it's not an easy game. So I think stand hard or standard is probably right. Hard is a bit tough. It's not impossible. It just changes the value on cards. You have to build differently. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out what's wrong with my webcam, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Hope everyone has a good night.